Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is a recording of a sermon from guest darshan, Rabbi Micah Shapiro.
Our darshan this morning is a special guest with us through Shavuot and Shabbat, mostly because when you come to us for Shavuot, you're stuck with us for a few days. It's his fourth time visiting this community. Rabbi Micah Shapiro is an artist, a songwriter. You got a chance to see him if you were with us for the Kol Tefillah in February of 2022 when we highlighted 7 Jewish emerging artists from around the country. He's one of the artists that our Sacred Sounds Unbound concert series has chosen to lift up in partnership with Temple Emmanuel of Beverly Hills, particularly as just in the course of the past couple weeks, he's officially put out his latest album. And it's also the case that our community has already for nearly a decade had his music embedded in the community itself. Many of you on Friday nights are very familiar, even if you think you only know the quote-unquote traditional tunes, you're familiar with Yismechu Hashemayim V'Shagel Haaretz. Yeah, it's like almost 9 years ago that Rabbi Micah Shapiro came and shared that original Yismechu melody with us, which is his. And it's an amazing thing how people can come into a community, they can share music, they can share Torah, and then they leave that behind as their imprint. And even when they leave, that stays with us, and we get to keep it. So that's our hope today, Rabbi Micah Shapiro, when you share a little bit of Torah with us. We're a little overtired. We've taken in a lot of Torah over the last day, but we know that when you give us Torah, it sticks. We welcome you to this bima.
Thank you, Rabbi Chorny. What are we doing here? I'm always thinking as a musician and I'm like, oh, the sound really escaped, so I'm doing a lot of sound analysis here, so okay, hopefully you can hear me. Okay, a few points of chutzpah to get started here. So I know I've been told that there's like 67 rabbis, lay leaders in this community, and the people who aren't rabbis are extremely educated Jews, so I'm glad that I could come in and give you some Torah, because you really need someone else to come in here. The second point of chutzpah is that I know typically there would be a Devar Torah with some intellectual holdings, and we can bring sources and get into it. And I promised Rabbi Chorny I will say a few words, but this is going to be a music Devar. And the third one, the most chutzpahdik part of this Devar, is that what we're going to try right now, so that it is not a performance by me, but rather something that we are kind of building ourselves organically and going to be surprised by what comes of it. The only way this is going to work is if we come in together in this outdoor space in order to sing together. So I'm going to humbly ask that if you can come into the first couple rows just for the Devar, and even better, if to the extent that you're able for 10 minutes to come and stand around the Amud and getting close, especially the kids. This is going to be great for kids too. So to the extent that we can really kind of get in, do you in terms of COVID safety and in terms of your able-bodiedness, but let's try to come in together and try something. I'm going to try to come off the microphone for the singing, and so hopefully we'll be able to hear each other. Yeah, come in, and if you want to hover around here, it'll make me less nervous too if you come hover around me. So the hovering makes me less nervous, not more, just to be clear. Okay, great. Yes, come in. Yeah, we got these cars and okay. The trash trucks. They're good people though. So I got really excited for this weekend. I wrote typically I write with guitar, but I knew that wasn't going to happen this weekend. So what I did instead was I wrote 2 different chants one on a pasuk from Vayikra that we did at midnight last night, and one on the Torah portion for Shavuot. And what I did was I created 3 different sort of cascading parts over each other in order to kind of simulate in some ways the like undergirding of the guitar, like sort of the chordal harmonic bass. And so we're going to take a chance. It's not the simplest melody, but it's what came through me. I wrote this 2 days ago with my 3.5-month-old baby just kind of watching me, and it was great. It was a win-win. I was able to take care of her while writing this music. So what we're going to be doing, and I'll say a little bit more about it, but we're going to get into the singing together. We're going to be chanting the first half of the pasuk from Exodus 20:15, V'chol ha'am ro'im et HaKolot. Right, and all the people saw the thunder. Right, it's pretty trippy and crazy, and so I tried to make something that would kind of get us excited with that. So I'm going to teach the first part. Eventually what's going to happen is we're going to be breaking into 3 parts, but for now I'm going to teach each part. And I've heard a lot of good singing today, so there's no excuses. I know that this group can sing, so we're going to try this together. The first part is just the word ro'im, and it goes like this. Ro'im, 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 ro'im. Great. So then, and forgive me for the bad grammar here, I took out the et on this part just to get the flow going. So, direct object, you need the et, but, I took it out. Okay, so this next part goes, V'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, 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 ro'im, 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 v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, ro'im, 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 v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot, v'chol ha'am ro'im kolot. Okay, I already hear some people getting into it, so we're gonna try this now. We're gonna break us up into 2, and just to state the goal, the end game here is we're going to get some really meaningful Torah, but the musical end game is that the kahal is going to hold down the 2 parts without me, and then I'm going to bring in a 3rd part over the top. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. Okay, great. Okay, so let's have we'll start. This side here is going to be ro'im, so somewhere down the line here. Yes, you got ro'im. It's okay. It's okay. All right. But if you're not flexible about it, I could switch it at any minute. All right, okay. Okay, so this side, here we go. Ro'im, 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 ro'im. Keep holding that down. Ro'im, 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 with ours. Roim, 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 bechol ha'am roim kolot, 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 bechol ha'am roim. Keep that going. Bring it back. Bechol ha'am roim kolot, bechol ha'am. Don't lose it. Keep it going. Bechol ha'am roim kolot, 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 roim So we're going to come back to that in a moment. So I learned, not until rabbinical school actually, that I didn't have it summed up for me this way, that really Passover is about celebrating our freedom, and Shavuot is about celebrating what we do with that freedom. That's what Revelation is, right? It's a vision for what we do with our freedom. And it's a bold question that requires a radical vision. And there's no vision more radical than Exodus 20:15, and all the people saw the thunder. That's a radical vision. In the Mechilta de Rabbi Yishmael, it teaches that at Sinai, with this pasuk, we see something which is impossible to see on any other occasion. And Chorny adds to that and writes that even phenomena that normally are not subject to being seen, they became visible during the revelation. So that's what we're doing on Shavuot, is we're trying to tap into a radical vision of how we want Torah to manifest in our lives and manifest in the world. So we're going to dive back into this chant with that kavanah in mind. That how do we be, right? We are at Sinai too. How do we be roim et HaKolot? How do we have that radical vision for the world that we want to live in? I'm going to give us 3 different kind of layers of this, and we'll come back into the chant 3 times. We'll start again with the roim. We'll come in with the bechol ha'am. I'll come in with my part. And as you get more comfortable with the music, the invitation is just to keep being bold with it and get louder and louder. And don't worry if you're out of tune. We're just creating a sacred cacophony together. So the first kavanah is for a radical vision for our inner lives, for our inner world. Of loving who we are, for simcha, for a deepening of our relationship to joy, for the recognition of true beauty that's not distorted by objectification and sexism, for a vision of real strength that is not perverted by toxic masculinity, misogyny, and power, and for a deeper understanding of success that's measured by the amount of love that we have in our lives. So our first kavanah is for a radical vision for the Torah inside of us. Roim, 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 roim bechol ha'am roim kolot 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 roim kolot roim kolot roim kolot olam roim kolot olam roim kolot roim kolot roim kolot. We take that into the next layer with a vision, a radical vision in the communal realm. We lean into this vision for what we mean by community. Here in this community, as a Jewish people, we pray for a deeper understanding of and a care for the needs, hopes, and prayers of those around us, cultivating our empathy, compassion, and loving kindness. Roim, 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 bechol ha'am roim kolot, 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 roim kolot, roim kolot, bechol ha'am roim kolot. And then we move out further to the political realm. And this is an invitation to take this in whatever direction is most potent or resonant for you. That we make sure that we are a part of the struggle and the reaching for a world without violence, without exploitation, without oppression. May we continue to push ourselves at each other to be part of the wellspring of hope and dreams for the world that we want to live into. Roim, 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 bechol ha'am roim kolot, 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 bechol. The Hadar Zikanim, which is a collection of Tosafists from the 14th century, I believe, they say that what we mean by Roim et HaKolot was the fire. We saw fire. That was what the Kolot was. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavot esh. The voice of God kindles flames of fire from Psalm 29. That's the proof that what we saw was fire. And so I just want to offer a closing blessing to us that we keep that fire going. That just like on Havdalah with the Kosi Revaya, the overflowing cup of Shabbat is meant to spill into our week. So too is this radical vision of Shavuot, this fire of a radical vision for inside ourselves, in our community, and in our world, meant to spill over into our whole year, not just Shavuot. So may it be a blessing that fire not go out for us with our radical vision for what we want to build in this world.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tba.org. la.org.